I've never actually said that to the mayor before. It's a bit uncomfortable, really. But,
there you go.
So, folks, thank you again for being part of tonight's meeting. We're very happy with the turnout. We will begin with the welcome from the mayor in just a moment. We apologize for the late start. We'll then have a presentation, an overview presentation from Director Bob Geddert, and if there are any questions, he can take them at the conclusion. What we'll then do is have a discussion at our tables on 5 different topic areas, and the way this will work is you'll discuss amongst your folks at your table, and then at the conclusion of each discussion topic, we're actually going to enable folks to share some of what they thought through a polling system that we've got set up here tonight. So you'll have some conversation with the other folks at your table that we'll capture on the flip chart pages, but we'll also make sure that we've captured your input electronically so that we have a very good, clear record of what was said tonight and what was felt. And then at about 7:45, we'll wrap up and discuss next steps. We'll end at 8 o'clock tonight. So that's our process for tonight, and the floor is Mayor Leffingwell.
Thank you, Larry. Larry's our facilitator. Doesn't he do a great job? And I don't know if all of you know Bob Geddert or not. He is a director of a department we now call Austin Resources Recovery.
We're in recovery.
I'm just not comfortable with that yet. It sounds like rehab or something like that. But, I'm sure people will get used to it. But it does reflect what we're trying to do here in Austin, and that is recover material instead of sending it to the landfill. A wide range of things that we've done already. I'm sure the people in this room are probably familiar, but what we're addressing tonight is one element of that program, and that's plastic bags. As many of you know, we have gone to an automatic sorting system for recycled materials. You, as a customer, put everything into one big blue container. It's picked up by the city and taken to a big building with a lot of machinery in it, poured in, and it's all kind of sorted out automatically into different kinds of stuff. Paper, aluminum cans, metal cans, plastics of different kinds, and different kinds of plastics too, I guess. But the one thing that really doesn't fit in here is plastic bags. None of these MRFs or material recycling facilities are able at this point to deal with those. They have to be dealt with by hand. You as a customer have to take them down to where you got them, whether it be the grocery store or the cleaners or wherever, maybe to the newspaper office where you got your plastic bags, but the machines themselves can't deal with it. The way they deal with it now is they have a bunch of people standing beside the conveyor belt as the material flows along the conveyor belt, and they see the bags and they pull them out. If they miss the bags, and they do every now and then, they often wind up clogging up the machinery. You got to hit the red button, stop the process, unclog it, and start again. So it just doesn't work very well. So we're making this effort, which was begun 4 years ago. We convened a group much like this one, stakeholders across the board, people who sell plastic bags, people who use plastic bags, people who get plastic bags, and we embarked on a program to, it's kind of an exploratory plan to decide how volunteerism would work, how voluntary process would work. And actually, among those who participated, which were 6 major retailers here in Austin, it worked pretty well. Our attempt was to reduce the number of bags, that was back volunteer effort, the number of plastic bags that came into the system in the first place, to try to increase the number of bags that did come into the system that were recycled. And the retailers did very well at providing, big cans and for customers to dump their used plastic bags in. And the third element was to facilitate that process to put reusable bags into the system. That is where I believe we had a great deal of success. And you can probably go into any major grocery store, Randall's or H-E-B, and right at the checkout counter you'll see 99-cent reusable bags for sale. So that has worked very well, and a lot of organizations have donated bags, of course, with their corporate logo on them, so they get a little advertisement. We have, in the last 4 years, put about 1 million of those bags into circulation here in the city of Austin. I think probably most of us, me included, have about 4 or 5 or a few more than that in our back seat or in the trunk of our car.
There's a collection right there.
Yeah, there's a lot, see, all different kinds. But anyway, I'm kind of going on too long here, but let me just briefly tell you where we are. Bob and Larry and Amy Everhart on my staff, where's Amy? Have been working on this and conducting stakeholder meetings with various groups for 3 or 4 months now. The council has passed a resolution directing the city manager, Bob Getter, acting for the city manager, to draft a resolution to be considered by the city to implement a ban of some kind of plastic bags in the city of Austin. After this meeting tonight, he's going to go home and draft that ordinance out. So this is really the last opportunity for public input. Then the draft ordinance will start its way through the various boards and commissions, Solid Waste Advisory Commission. The co-chair, Rick Kofer, is sitting right over there, and he's ready for it. He's been in on this issue and an advocate for it from the very beginning. So there will be an opportunity for further comment on the draft at that time. And then eventually it'll get to City Council. It was originally supposed to come, I understand, in November. I don't expect that will happen. With the holidays coming up, it may drag on into January before the council takes a look at it. And then the public will have another opportunity to weigh in on it. But the big questions that have to be answered are, what is the scope of this ban? Who does it apply to? Does it apply to everybody? Does it apply to major retailers? Who does it apply to? There are other things that to be considered is how is it going to be enforced. We're not going to create plastic bag police to go around and check on people. No doubt the enforcement will occur at the retailer level. We don't know what format that'll take right now. And what is the timetable? When is this going to be phased in? How is it going to be phased in? There are a lot of important details that Bob will tell you more about later. But we want to really get your input tonight, get your ideas, and find out how we can do a better job of this, because we don't want to create a hardship on anyone, really. But at the same time, we believe it's an issue that needs to be addressed. We want to do it in the best way possible. So thanks for coming out. Appreciate your participation. Appreciate your input tonight. And thank you all for coming.